Hello viewers, this is Ronald back with item 5. As usual, we shall again look through the scenario, we read through and then we go to solutions. Your father plans to start a dairy business selling milk at the local trading center. He needs to buy a cylindrical milk storage tank with a diameter of 4 meters and a height of 2.5 meters, but lacks sufficient funds. To purchase the tank, he must borrow 800,000 Ugandan shillings for 2.5 years from a bank that charges 14% compound interest per annum. However, he does not know the total amount he will have to repay. For durability, the tank must be painted on the outer surface. The paint is also sold in 2-liter tins, each covering 3.2 square meters, but he is unsure how many tins to buy. Milk is supplied in 20-liter cans, and he wants to know how many cans he needs to fill the tank. Task: help your father to determine A. the total amount of money to repay after 2.5 years. B. the number of paint tins needed to cover the outer surface of the tank. C. the number of 20-liter cans required to fill the tank. So we are on item 5. This is section B, part 2, and this comes from the theme geometry and measures. So we have several topics from this theme. You need to always remember, but as if you can read clearly, like in the first statement here, things to do with volumes, areas, surface areas, it's what they're talking about. You'll notice that this is some kind of business when they're talking about compound interest, and this thing is also to do with surface areas and volumes of figures. So let's go to solutions, and we shall start with part A, which requires us to determine the total amount of money to repay after 2.5 years. They had said that he must borrow 800,000 shillings for 2.5 years from a bank that charges 14% compound interest per annum. So this will be our principal, this will be our time, this will be time, this will be our rate. So we are going to choose compound interest formula that calculates amount after a given period of time, because they want the total amount after 2.5 years. So let's rush to the solution and do that. Let's first summarize the scenario information. Our principal is 800,000 shillings, rate is 14% per annum, times 2 years. So amount under compound interest is given by P into 1 plus R out of 100 to power T. So you substitute, you shall get amount as that. Then you compute that one. You're starting from brackets, 1 plus this one will give you 1.14. And when you get a calculator, you can first get 1.14, you raise it to the power 2.5, and finally multiply by 800,000, which will give you this one. So this will be the amount to repay. So you conclude that the amount of money to repay is Ugandan shillings 1,110,074.4717. So let's go back to part B and see what they want. In part B, they are asking us to determine the number of paint tins needed to cover the outer surface of the tank. So when you come back here, the outer surface of the tank is the area or the surface area. So you notice that they are saying he needs to buy a cylindrical tank, he needs to buy a cylindrical milk storage tank with the diameter of 4 meters and height 2.5 meters. So which means the tank to be painted has a diameter of 4 meters and height of 2.5 meters. We can first calculate its surface area. Then after getting its surface area, we shall come back here where they are saying for durability, the tank must be painted on the outer surface. So the paint is sold in 2-liter tins, each tin covers 3.2 square meters. So if we can know the surface, the number of square meters that make the surface, since each tin covers 3.2 square meters, each tin with 2 liters covers 3.2 square meters, then we can know the number of tins. So we shall get the area to be covered divided by 3.2 since each tin covers 3.2 square meters. So briefly, we begin by calculating surface area of the tank, and then after we divide by 3.2 to get the number of 2-liter tins that will be required. So let's go and do that. So surface area of a tank, since the tank is cylindrical, will be 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared, 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared, we are going to paint both all the sides, or the whole surface of the cylinder. So when you substitute, you'll get that, and finally get 56.5714 square meters. That is the surface to be covered. But since each 2-liter tin covers 3.2, as they had said, we shall need to divide to get number of 2-liter tins that are needed. Okay, so we are saying since a 2-liter tin covers an area of 3.2 square meters, we shall calculate number of tins of paint needed as that, which gives 17.678565. But because this is a decimal, it means 17 tins alone cannot fill the tank. I mean cannot paint the whole tank. There will be this small decimal fraction that is remaining. So when you are buying, you don't buy 17. You will now need to buy 18 tins so that you are able to paint the whole surface of the tank. So we shall finally say 18 tins are the one needed to cover the surface of the tank. So the number of tins of paint needed is 18. So we can go back to last part. They're asking us to determine the number of 20-liter cans required to fill the tank. They had said that milk is supplied in 20-liter cans, and he wants to know how many cans he needs to fill the tank. So since this is volume in liters, we need to calculate volume of the tank in liters. After getting volume of the tank in liters, we shall divide by 20 to get number of cans, 20-liter cans that can fill the tank. So let us go there and try to calculate volume of the tank. So volume of the tank, because it is cylindrical, will be given by pi R squared H. Let us substitute. We have the height in meters, so we shall first calculate the volume of the tank in cubic meters, then after we convert to liters. So this will be 31.42857 cubic meters. But we know 1 cubic meter is equal to 1,000 liters. So in liters, we shall multiply by 1,000, because 1 cubic meter is 1,000 liters. So we multiply by 1,000 liters and get the answer in liters. So because we are using 20 liter cans, we shall divide by 20 to get the number of cans. Since the milk is supplied in cans of 20 liters each, number of cans to fill the tank will be that one divided by 20, which gives 1,571.42857 cans. But because this, you can't have a can which is in the form of a fraction, we shall round off this one or approximate it to 1,572 cans will be needed. So 1,572 cans will be needed to fill the tank. Thank you so much. That marks the end of this.